if I'm coaching a team and I'm introducing a change, we're talking about the change that we're all confronted by right now, your players, your student athletes, your fellow coaches, even you are going to have what we call 6 concerns of change. And these concerns essentially need to be addressed every time you talk to your team. So for me, this works as a really important model. We're having meetings with our own staff every couple of days just to talk about the updates, and we're trying to tick off on each one of these 6 areas. So as you can see, it's pretty fundamental and basic. An informational concern is literally just what's happening. You know, what's happening on a large scale, and also what's happening on a micro scale in terms of our team, and what are we actually doing? What strategies are we putting in place to address what's going on? The personal one is, how will this affect me? Now, in that initial model where I showed you the Kubler-Ross change curve, there's a really important concept in here, and it's around the concept of guilt. People tend to realize that, oh, maybe I'm in a pretty good position, I'm healthy, maybe my parents, maybe I've got some finances behind me, I haven't seen anyone lose their job. The reality here is we have millions of people losing their jobs. And so when you see that level of, you know, hardship and adversity that others are being essentially imposed with, and you feel like perhaps you're not in that same situation, you start to even feel guilty about the fact that I'm worried about myself. It's normal. It's totally normal. I've experienced that on a number of levels with other organizations, that when something tragic happens, as sad as people are about the tragedy that just happened, they quickly start being concerned about themselves. It's human nature. It's totally normal. Like, we've got our own families to look after, and so we always will be concerned about, how does this personally affect me? Okay, so the more that you can help people understand that it's okay to feel that way, because if they don't, what I've noticed that they tend to do is they start to really beat themselves up about it, and that then doesn't help them. You'll often see them plunge even deeper with that change. Okay, the implementation concern is, well, things like, well, how are we going to stay together, and how are we going to stay connected, and what workouts can I do, and you know, how can we make the most of this scenario? The impact could be anything from, well, what difference will this make if we do X, Y, and Z? Okay, what's the impact of this change going to be in terms of when can we play again? You know, they're all impact concerns. Collaboration is, who are we working with? How are we trying to improve our situation? Who can we bring in to join us to make this scenario as best as possible for us as a team? And then refinement ones, you're a long way down the curve if you're talking about refinement concerns. That's really looking at, right, well, let's adjust this slightly. So we had a really great meeting the other day. Okay, how can we do that a little bit better next time? All right, so understanding those 6 concerns of change is important. And just remember, next time you chat to your team, try to make sure that your own presentation, put a bit of preparation work into it. I know you will do that anyway, but put a bit of preparation work into it, and actually make sure, ask yourself, have I addressed these concerns? And if you haven't, just put a little bit of information in there. Even if you don't have new information, just repeat the information that you do have and state that, look, I don't have anything new. All right, it's perfectly okay. One of the most important things during change of any type is to make sure you keep communicating. So you should have a structure, you should have a schedule for when you connect and communicate with your team. Every couple of days, some format of communication, a structured session once a week, whatever it works for you. Different teams are doing different things. You're going to need to work out what works for you. But as I say, keep communicating.